on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. We've been with Pizza Man for multiple years. We appreciate our partnership here, which gives us an opportunity to spotlight the BVille Bees that are within walking distance from Pizza Man. So happy to be here with you on Wake Up Call, celebrating the back-to-back state championship Baldwinsville Bees boys lacrosse team, and looking at history, just to give a little backdrop to it, sectional title, COVID, and then 3 sectional titles after that. So I have with me right now, and it's exciting because, well, Nick, you weren't really called out at all, so you didn't hear anything. But Garrett, this is your clapback opportunity. Garrett Sutton, Nick Cary, Baldwinsville Bees boys lacrosse, back-to-back state champions. Please give them a round of applause. Show them some love. So, Nick, you witnessed Carson and Braden, and be very honest about your teammates. How much do you appreciate the fact that they left you off the list?
It's probably pretty good. I mean, most of the stuff was, this guy's crazy, this guy's just out of his mind insane, so I know I'm doing something right.
Now, being the goalie, there's something special about that job because the uniqueness of it, the last line of defense, and it's just you and the post. What's that life been like for you to be within the net and to spend your time knowing that you are that final line, especially in a game that could be that one goal of separation?
Yeah, it's been interesting. With a lot of highs and lows, it does put a lot of pressure on you sometimes, especially in closer games when sometimes you let a bad goal in, it just gets down on you. But at the same time, you have some highs where you make a big save and everyone's like, you're the hero. It's great, and you just feel on top of the world.
So with you, do you have a moment that you kind of just realized, I want to be the goalie? I want to be in that position? Because it can be a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure. So when did you realize, I'm going to do this? This is where I want to be.
So I think it was 4th grade ULA, my first ever lacrosse game. I played a bit out in the first half. Didn't do great at all. Didn't like the running. And then so I volunteered to play goalie in the second half. Did good, and I loved it. And just after that, every chance I took, I played goalie, and I just wanted to keep doing it.
4th grade.
4th grade.
First game.
First game.
You're like, that's it. I'm doing it.
Yep.
Garrett, you had a fun situation because you were utilized and your brother for the wrong end of some questions. What's it like for you to be on stage now? It's kind of like a roast, right? Because when you get roasted, you get to be the last line. So we talk about the last line defensively. You get to be the last line here on stage today. What's it like for you knowing that after Braden and after Carson, you have something that you can say and they can't have a rebuttal?
I'll probably definitely get back at them on a few, but most of it they probably were lying about. I mean, I can be fun at times, but once the games came, I got pretty serious.
Why are you so kind of locked in, serious, more to, like when you said when a game comes in and you get really serious? Is that something you grew into and kind of maybe changed how you were going into a game? Is it a way to kind of block everything out that you go into serious mode? What made you go there?
I think it started in the hockey season. One of our main things was like before games, like we just really want to be like focused, like not messing around or fighting. As you can see, those two are laughing because they'd always be fighting before the hockey games. But I think locking in and like focusing out, putting your headphones in, doing whatever you need to do, it'll really help get your mind like ready for the game, and it helps you do actually play better, whether you believe it or not. You do play better when you get prepared and like lock in before the game starts.
What's it like being Trevor's brother?
It's pretty fun. It's definitely an experience. You never know what he's gonna do sometimes. He's another goalie like Cary, so goalies can be a bit wild at times, but it's definitely fun being brothers with him.
Do you actually believe what your teammates said, that he would jump out of a plane without a parachute?
Most likely. He doesn't think about some stuff before he does it sometimes.
All right, but you know what? That's like a Mission Impossible thing. So if you can do it, it's you and Tom Cruise, and then the rest of the world's not brave enough to do that. So, all right, Nick. Well, he's taken over for you. What's that going to be like? What do you think about Trevor Sutton as the goalie of the future?
I think he's going to do great. I think he's going to go in there, hit the ground running. I don't think he's going to stutter at all. Just take it in, and I think he's going to do great.
What is it about his game that makes you excited and happy to pass the torch to him?
You know, he's an all-around leader. I mean, he'll get the other kids in control. Like, he'll control the other guys. A couple loose cannons on defense, he'll get them ready, and once he gets the ball, he's not going to be afraid with it. He's going to run. He's going to do whatever he needs to do to stop the ball and then get it down to the offense.
I like it. Garrett, if Trevor's the crazy one, then who are you?
I don't know. I mean, some guys say I'm funny. I can be a bit dumb at times, but I'm pretty smart in school, I'd say. But outside of school, I can be a little dumb.
Okay. So you kind of just roasted yourself. So let's look at, you said you're good in school, but maybe outside of it, you have your moments. Well, you're going to St. John Fisher. Congratulations. Can we give him a round of applause for St. John Fisher? Not going to be too far away, Rochester. What made you pick Fisher?
I just love the campus, first of all. Like, they just got everything redone, and it's nice and small. It's not too big. Everything's close. The dining hall's pretty good, too. Apparently, it's the first in New York, so I love my food, so I made sure I got that Tier 1 meal plan.
When you say first in New York, what's different about the dining hall?
There's hibachi.
Hibachi?
The omelets are pretty good when I have my visit.
Hibachi and omelets at a school?
Yeah.
So when are you and I doing the show from Fisher?
I'm down. Give me a call.
Get that hibachi ready.
Maybe a little mukbang.
It's crazy to hibachi on campus.
I know.
There's some people that never have hibachi their entire lives. There's people in Montana that don't even know what that word means. And you're going to be able to have it like any day of the week. So you got the Tier 1 meal plan?
Yeah.
What tier, how many tiers are there?
I'm pretty sure there's like 3 or 4. Like, I think I was on the one where it's like 1 to 2 meals a day, and I was like, Mom, we got to change this. I'm trying to put some weight on freshman year, definitely, so I had to make sure I get that Tier 1, at least 2 or 3 a day.
All right. I did not know that Fisher was rolling like that with hibachi and omelets. Nick, you're going really far away, about 20 minutes to Lemoyne. And as people know, I have the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Lemoyne. So anything sports-wise comes through Wake Up Call and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. So I'll be seeing you.
Absolutely.
What made you want to stay close?
I just kind of had pretty much everything I was looking for. The great lacrosse, great campus, great academics, and just the opportunity to, being undecided going into school, just kind of explore what I wanted, and give me time and the ability to really decide what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
So you're going in undeclared. Do you like that? That kind of like, I'll figure it out as I go. Do you like hibachi or an omelet, you have the opportunity to kind of put into your future whatever you want going in undeclared. Do you like that? The opportunity to kind of feel it out and see where you want to go?
Yeah, I do. I like how I can kind of like explore. Like, I have like 2 or 3 interests, and I have the opportunity now to like really explore and decide, is this really what I want to do or not?
What are the interests?
I'm looking into either like a biology thing or an accounting thing.
Okay. So. All right. What about you, Garrett? What are you going to be doing?
Right now I'm going in for business.
Okay.
But I'm not too sure like what part of business yet. I'm leaning towards marketing more, I feel like.
Okay.
I feel like that'll fit me best, but I'm still like not sure.
For you, do you have a passion within that world that you can see yourself doing?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really thought about that much yet. But I think within these next 2 years, I was talking to a lot of the guys at school, and they said you really figure out what you want to do after that first year, and once you get into your second year, you really feel what you have a passion for.
There's not a lot of brain space to go beyond hibachi. That's what the problem is right now. So Nick, do we have to do that? Do you and I have to work on hibachi at Lemoyne?
I think that needs to happen, yeah.
Okay. You're going to Lemoyne for this first year in Division I. I got to be with them throughout the entire process and just going through exclusively sitting with the AD and the president and looking at D2 to D1. It's been an awesome process, but you get to be one of the victors in this process, right? So the interesting thing is that the NEC that they're going into, the Northeast Conference, every sport from Lemoyne is going into the NEC, except for men's lacrosse, because there's not enough men's lacrosse members to make that a conference sport right now. What do you think about playing independent and what you're going to be able to do? Because as an independent, you can play anybody.
Yeah, I think that's just overall going to be better for the program. Just being able to say, we played all these different teams and not being bound to a conference this first year really just opens up the schedule to play whoever we want, really. And we don't have to fit in a certain number of conference games, so we have however many games the schedule is, just the best competition we can find. And I think it's going to be really good for the program, really good for us getting the experience and, playing in these games against these teams that we grew up watching and wanting to play for. I think it's just going to be great for the program.
You don't, because you're not inside of the NEC for this season, there's no postseason. You're coming off of back-to-back state titles. Is that strange for you?
I think it will be strange not having like an ultimate kind of goal in the background, but it's also going to be a little exciting. Like so we get as many games as we get on the schedule, and then just wait till next year. Okay, now we've had a year at D1 now, and now after that we'll have a conference, and just more motivation I think for the team forward.
St. John Fisher is the next chapter, Garrett. Coming off of these 2 state titles, what makes you believe that Fisher has an opportunity to more hardware going into your room?
Yeah, Dobbins, he's been doing a great job there, I think, and that's one of the main reasons I went there. He told me about like the culture they have and like all the workouts and everything they do, and he has like a system to keep all the guys in check and make sure they're always involved and stuff in the school. So I feel like it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I think I won't have a hard time fitting in because all the guys have been really nice so far.
That's awesome. And going from one family, you hope you find another one, right, to add to that. Before we get to rapid fire, like I spoke with your teammates about, being a champion in anything at any level at any time is so rare, but you've experienced it more than once. What has this whole ride with BVille meant to you to know that sectionals have been yours and state titles have been yours as well, Garrett?
Yeah, just the other day, like, we had a fire at our house, and some of the boys were there, and we were just, like, going over, like, just, like, how crazy it really is, just, like, looking back on it now. Like, once you're in the moment, like, it was crazy, but, like, looking back on it now, like, having the first 2 state titles in BVille history, like, going down as one of the best teams ever for lacrosse, like, it's really crazy to think about. Because, like, it doesn't seem that crazy when you're in the moment, but then when you look back, it's just like, wow,
You just brought it up. To make the history of the state titles, for this team forever to be that door that finally opened. I mean, that's got to be an incredible thing to think about.
Yeah, it was really crazy, and the even better part was that, like, the whole team was like just a friend group. Like, everyone was just guys with each other. We'd all hang out and just like everyone loved each other. Like, I don't think there was any like issues the whole season with like arguments or anything. Like, everyone just knit together pretty well.
That's a beautiful thing. I appreciate you sharing that. Nick, for you, a champion once, great. More than once, incredible. History making for your team specifically. You're a young kid, and yet you've achieved more in the sports world with your teammates than some people ever will. What does it mean?
Well, first, I think it's just gives us a great sense of like pride and accomplishment, being able to look back the rest of our lives and say we were the first guys to do this. And you know, teams are going to look back for a while and just strive to be like that. But it's also, I think, been just very important, just kind of teaching us the importance of a couple of things, like the importance of working together, working hard, having a common goal in mind, and all buying into that. And we've seen now like the outcome of what that can do, and also kind of teaching us, just what a great community is. Because the entire step of the way, both years, we always had like the entire BVille community behind us, and it's a great sense of pride and just sense of family there.
What is it about this community that you feel like it's so special and unique to you?
Just the amount of support that they've given us from day one has just been second to none. And just like Pizza Man, after every big win, we're always in the locker room like, yo, let's go to Pizza Man. Just the entire packed from front to back, just with familiar faces and just people we've known our whole lives, and just a great feelings.
Garrett, that video of coming into Pizza Man after the victory, what was that feeling like walking in here and knowing that the place was just going to erupt?
Yeah, the first year walking in, it was definitely something that wasn't expected, but you kind of get used to it, but like still, it's just like crazy walking in, seeing everyone cheering and like calling your name and saying great job and all that. It's crazy. And then people get on the jukebox and get whatever songs they want. Normally walking into We Are the Champions, and it's just a great feeling,
Yeah, it's an awesome song too, and it brings me back to the Mighty Ducks, which are awesome movies. So right before rapid fire, your teammates talked about Coach. I want Garrett for you to tell me your favorite Coach Wilcox memory.
I do think B brought up probably the best one. The cough drop was pretty funny. But there was one day last year's season. We had a Saturday practice, and two guys came late, and it wasn't the best practice, but you would say it was more like a cross country practice that day. But
Okay.
he wasn't too happy about it. But looking back on it, it was a pretty funny day, and we definitely learned from it.
Fair enough. A cross-country type of practice. I know exactly what we're talking about here. Nick, your favorite Coach memory for Wilcox?
I think it's hard to pinpoint one favorite memory just because there's been so many. And he always just does a ton of stuff. I think if I have to choose one though, I think it's going to be unoriginal, but him dancing in the locker room after winning the state championship. And
Did he dance for both?
He danced, yeah. He
Okay.
danced for both.
All right. Did he improve from one year to the next?
It's tough to say,
Okay.
but it was still just, it was awesome to watch. I mean, we're all still hyped, and we put on, I think it's Jump by House Pain,
Yeah.
and we waited by the door, formed a circle, we're just chanting, Willie, Willie, Willie. And he comes in and he starts jumping around with his belt, twirling his belt. He hit the worm. It was just awesome.
Awesome. All right, and the worm is not an easy thing to do.
I think he whipped out the Thriller this year too.
Did he do the Thriller? Got a little bit of that?
You never know what he can pull out of his sleeve.
All right, well, with that being said here, before we finish up from Pizza Man celebrating back-to-back state titles for the Baldwinsville Bees boys lacrosse team here on Wake Up Call, we're going to play rapid fire. We've got two apiece. Nick, you got your first one for me.
Ooh, let's think. I'm going to throw a throwback from the first spring trip this year. I've had Judson Ferris and Brady Garcia in my room, and it's late at night. I don't know what time. We're just kind of talking about anything. So this question came up. I'm going to ask it to you.
Okay.
What are your top 3 favorite words of all time?
19, almost 20 years of being a broadcaster, I've never been asked that question. Top 3 favorite words of all time?
Yep.
I can tell you the words that I want to get rid of. Triggered is one of them, but and I always say that the word woke, wake up call was awake before everybody got woke. So I always say wake up call is the first wake up call. But my favorite words of all time. Well, I'm a strong person of faith, so I'm going to say God, I'm going to say family. And I'm going to say my other favorite word of all time is love. God, family, and love. I got to pick those three. If I had comedic ones, I got to clap for that. Thank you. All right. You know what? So let's go with what I would have done, like I just said, Nick. What are your 3 least favorite words of all time?
Oh God. That's a tough question. I like to focus more on the words I like than the ones I don't like.
Okay. The words you just can't stand. You're like, all right, that's enough.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've heard. I don't know. I know phrases.
All right, phrase. Something that's played out, overdone.
What's going on here is one.
What's going on here?
What's going on here? I
Okay.
hear that one a lot.
All right.
I'm trying to think. It's kind of like when someone says, "Hey, I need someone to do this," but they don't. They kind of just leave it out there. And
They say, hey, I need someone to do this?
Someone says something, and I don't really have like words I dislike.
Okay. Well, what are your favorite 3 then?
Ubiquitous,
Okay.
egregious, and photosynthesis.
All right. Egregious I do use. I use egregious a lot. All right, Garrett, what's your question here?
I just want to say before I ask this question, no offense to, I don't know if you got a girlfriend, a fiance, or a wife or anything, but if you could get married to any celebrity you wanted to, who would it be and why?
I had this conversation last night. I think last night. I was talking to one of my buddies. And, oh, no. It was this morning. Yeah, it was with my buddy Brendan this morning. Without doubt, at any time in my life, it's Jennifer Aniston.
Great answer.
Without doubt.
Can't disagree.
If I saw her walk outside right now, I'd go ask her out. I got nothing to lose. So if she says no, fine. If she says yes, then we both gain somebody positive in our lives. So, all right, Garrett. Okay. You're going on a blind date, and you can ask 3 questions about the person you're going on the date with to try and gauge who it is. What 3 questions do you ask to try and gain information? Gotta be smart.
First one will probably be what's your favorite kind of food? I think that's
Favorite kind of food?
Yeah.
All right.
What else? Your background, like what are you? Are you like Italian, Irish, you know?
Okay.
And then what do you want to do in the future, you know?
Okay.
Are you looking to have a family? Do you want to get a nice cottage? Or you want to get a nice big house, you know?
Look at that. Look at this. Those are good answers. Those are good questions to ask. You're thinking about things that actually matter. Shout out to Garrett for that. Those were good. Those are called mature questions. Food, background, and what are your future plans? I like that. All right, Nick, what's your last one for me?
If you could travel in time to any time period you wanted to, where would you go and why?
Oh my goodness. I travel back to the people that were like, hey, this COVID pandemic could be a cool thing to do, and I'd stop it. No, I would, where would I go back in time? I would go to, you know what? I would want to go back to the dinosaurs' time, and I would want to train a velociraptor to let me ride on it so that I could show up and like everyone's afraid of the dinosaurs, and then you show up on the raptor. I mean, I think that would be a nice flex move. I think that would be a good one, right? But another time I would go to is back to when my grandfathers were alive, on a serious note. And they passed when I was 6. So I would go back and be with them during that time. But I'd maybe go back at my age now so I could experience them all these years later. And so I would know what it felt like to be with them when I was a kid and as an adult. So I'd go back now and be with them now. Probably do that. All right, Nick. Good questions. Okay. You have to go back in time to stop 3 things from happening. What 3 things do you stop?
That's a good question. I'm trying to decide if I'd be funny here or serious.
I would go back to 2 weeks and stop gas prices from going to $3.99. That's one of the things I would do.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. That's a good question.
Yeah. A lot of moments in history. What would you
There's
stop?
A lot of moments in history. I think I'd stop September 11th.
Okay. Stop September 11th.
Stop World War II.
Stop World War II.
And
So you'd be the one to tell Hitler, maybe we don't take pieces of all these countries and make it your own.
possibly. Sure.
And maybe be nice. Yeah, maybe be nice to people.
I try and find a way.
Oh no, yeah.
And
I feel like they could have stopped it in the initial stages for sure.
I think the last thing I'd stop would probably be the COVID pandemic.
All right, those are all good answers. A lot of things we could stop. Those are 3 good ones to stop. All right, Garrett, what's your last question?
I've been thinking about this one.
Okay.
If you could star in any movie, what movie would you star in, and what actor would you replace in it?
That's easy. I would start, well, there's 2 answers. I would star in the next Spider-Man movie as Spider-Man, no stunt double, shoot me out of a cannon, hang me off of a building. I would play every part of it. So when you go see it and you're like, is that you in the dining room? Oh yeah, that's me. Is that you running from him? No, that's my stunt double. I would never do that. I would call my mom upside down on the Empire State Building. She'd be like, honey, how's work going? I'd be like, great, Ma. She'd be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, not too much, just hanging around. So I would play Spider-Man, or I would go and replace whoever is opposite Jennifer Aniston in a romantic comedy. And I would play that role, for sure. All right, Garrett, I like that question. Huh. All right, well, I'm going to give you a 2-parter. One of them goes back to you. Celebrity crush is one. And if you could go back in time to any moment in the past with that celebrity crush, where would you go? Kind of taken from a couple here.
I think I'd have to go with Margaret Robbie.
All right, Margot Robbie, like it.
And where would I go with her if I go back in time? Maybe last Friday at Zach Brown Band. Get a little concert action with Margaret Robbie.
Okay.
Not like that. No.
Okay. So you would go back in time here and take her to Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
All right.
Go to a nice concert with her. You know?
Nothing wrong with that. So for Garrett Sutton, for Nick Cary, myself, Dan Tortora, this has been a celebration of back-to-back state champs, making history here with the Baldwinsville Bees boys lacrosse, and celebrating Garrett heading off to St. John Fisher for Chapter 2, and Chapter 2 for Nick out in Lemoyne. Please give them, from Pizza Man, a round.